danger. We are entering the children's danger. As I told you, Fort William is the only fort with children's danger. Bring about 10 of the children outside, put them in chains, and then lock them up with this shackle. So this is pictorial evidence. Allow you to take fresh air for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you are pushed back.
What you are looking at may seem peaceful. The ocean is calm and the walls are quiet. But centuries ago, this place heard screams that truly never left.
Dungeon. This is the female dungeon. Their floor was a stone floor. They sleep, they squat, they lie down on stones for 3 good men. And then this particular door was leading to the concubine dungeon. The beautiful women among them were selected to become concubines. The whites were using them to satisfy their sexual needs.
Welcome to Fort Williams in Anomabo, one of Ghana's most powerful and painful slave forts, but which is often being ignored by visitors and tourists.
Guys, if you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favour and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
Kweku Africa, rise up Africa. Voices rise from coast to coast, telling stories we need most. Truth and power, clear and strong. Africa's heartbeat in our song. Kweku Africa, bold and free, telling our history, our destiny. From the village to the city light, we speak the truth, we shine so bright. Leaders rise, the people stand. Change is moving through the land. Hidden stories come alive. Africa's spirit will survive. Kweku Africa, bold and free, telling our history, our destiny. From the village to the city light, we speak the truth, we shine so bright. Shine so bright. Leaders rise, the people stand. Change is moving through the land. Hidden stories come alive. Africa's spirit will survive.
Built in the 18th century, this fort stood as a major hub in the transatlantic slave trade. From here, thousands of Africans were held, traded, and shipped across the ocean, never to return. But today, we walk these grounds not just to see, but to remember. As you step inside the fort, something changes. The air feels heavier and the silence gets louder. And yes, there were even dungeons for children.
Entering the children's danger, as I told you, Fort William is the only fort with children's danger. So let's enter. You see how dark the place is? So the darkness wasn't just for that king's sake, but it was an intention. The whites intentionally or psychologically kept the children in this darkness, just for them to forget about the roots in which they took it coming here. So you go out after 3 months and you don't know anybody, even the one you are with in the dungeon. You don't get to see the person's face. Because they were termed as stubborn children, they were not given any ventilation hole. This one was created during the prison time. But when they realize that we are in the sunny season and there is more heat in the dungeon, they'll just bring about 10 of you outside. So we are going outside. Careful. Bring about 10 of the children outside, put them in chains, and then lock them up with this shackle. So this is pictorial evidence. Allow you to take fresh air for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you are pushed back. So this is how the children were allowed to take fresh air. With the soldiers sitting right here to make sure nobody escapes or misbehaves.
And for women, the suffering didn't even end there. They were often taken, abused, and treated as property.
This is the female dungeon. Their floor was a stone floor. They sleep, they squat, they lie down on stones for 3 good months. And then this particular door was leading to the concubine dungeon. The beautiful women among them were selected to become concubines. The whites were using them to satisfy their sexual needs. So they were kept in the other room. They also had no windows then. These ones were created during the present time. And then they had 2 ventilation holes. The concubines were the only slaves that were allowed to take their bath. That was during the olden time, but when it became prison, it also was a washroom for the prisoners. And then a stone house was built for them. So we see a red building right there. This building was built by Governor Brew for his concubines. So when you give birth to his child or any soldier's child, you are taken out of the fort and you go there, stay there, and then you take care of the governor's child. And their children were the first to go through education. So they had schools in the same building. But it was taken over after the abolition of slave trade by Kuntu Blankson, George Kuntu Blankson. He took over the house because he was a merchant who traded directly with the whites. So he took over the house and now belongs to his family. This is the female dungeon. Their floor was a stone floor. They sleep. So it was only the white that had watch. The people in the community had no watch. So whenever it's 6 o'clock, we had a soldier in charge of it to shoot as a warning shot for his workers here. So those in the community also realize of the timing. So they also use it as their time. So nowadays, we hear our news readers saying Premo Ato, Premo Ato. But the right word is Pearl Martin. The inventor of the canoe was called Pearl Martin. But during the slavery time, the Ashantis who wants to trade, when they are coming and then they hear the shot, they'll just say, hey, Pearl, what's on the bomb? And then it became Premo Ato. So the whole room was the governor's hall, the living room. And then the wood is the original one used from 1753. The original one. It has never been changed. From his living room, he will keep 2 soldiers here as his security. We see a lot of books here. These books were brought here after the relocation of the prison from here. A private person also came to establish a library in this apartment, thinking the children or the school children will come and then read. But then the children started complaining of seeing spirits of slaves that died here, so they stopped coming. So the whole room was the governor's hall,
Not as human beings. History doesn't always slow us aside, but it's the truth that we must face. But above these dungeons, life was different. There was fresh air, comfort, and freedom. While below, people were fighting just to survive. Same building, but two completely different worlds.
So when we go into slave history, when we talk of condemned cell, we talk of the aggressive and rebellious slaves. Some of them were captured through kingdom and tribal wars, like the Apocalypse movie. So they will by all means fight. They have left their family behind, so they will by all means want to go and then take care of their family. And then the whites see them to be rebellious. They just bring you here, put you in chains, and then lock them up with these big shackles. When you go to the prisons, we call them leg iron. They just hold you with these chains and they make sure you are punished. Because you are strong, you always want to fight them. They will cane you to become weak, so you don't get the strength to fight them. And then the other punishment is if they are about 50, they'll bring food for only 30. So you have to fight and then you struggle for food. So the survival of the fittest. So after 3 months before the ship arrives, about 1/3 of the people in the condemned cell would have then died. They just come and pack the dead bodies, drop them in the ocean. So this is the first condemned cell. We have the second one in the corner. So let's see the second one. You see that? Small entrance. If you are so much aggressive, this is where they keep you. You never get to see anybody to fight you or fight with. So this is the second condemned cell with their strong shackles. And then this is first chamber. And then second chamber. So this particular room was for the most aggressive slaves. For them, they will always want to fight and then escape. And then they will also not allow you. They just bring you here and they starve you for you to become weak, so you don't get strength to fight them. So after 3 months, if you survive, they will just tie your hand with rope together with the other person, your leg with chain, and they walk you through the gates of no return. So we are going to see the gates of no return. So this is the tunnel leading us to the gates of no return, with all the survivor slaves tied with rope with their hand and then their leg with chains. Just walk them through this gate. It means their ship has arrived. So this gate is from the prison time. The whites were using iron gates. It became a gate of no return because none of the slaves that passed through this gate came back. You either die on the ocean or you get to your destination. So the ship stays 1 mile from the shore. It will not come closer to the shore because of the rocks. It stays 1 mile And then a smaller canoe will be used to carry the slaves to the ship. On their way, we have what we call the Middle Passage. The ship carries about 1,005 slaves at a time. When they get to the Middle Passage, anybody that fell sick will be dropped in the ocean. When there is any bad weather which can cause shipwreck, they just sacrifice and drop some of you to make the ship lighter to move. When there is shortage of ration, when we talk of ration, we talk of food and water, they'll just drop some of you to make the ship and then share the little food to the strong ones left till they get to their destination. So none of the slaves that passed through this gate came back. You either die on your ocean or you get to your destination. So we have some distribution of slaves to the various countries. So America, we have Chesapeake, Mississippi, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, St. Vincent, Haiti, Quindanab. Then we have the Guyanas, English Guyana, the French Guyana, the Dutch Guyanas, and then Trinidad and Tobago. Then we have Maronics. When we talk of Maronics, we talk of the slaves that ran away from their slave masters into the bushes and then later came out. And they are now cities and towns.
And standing here today, you don't just see history, you feel it, you realize it. And this is not just Ghana's history, this is humanity's story. Today, Fort William stands not as a place of pain, but as a place of remembrance, of education, of truth, because we cannot move forward if we forget where we come from. These walls may be silent now, but the story is still speaking. And the question is, are we listening? What is your take about Fort Williams in Anomabo? Have you ever visited this place before? And if you did, how did you feel and what did you see? Leave your comment in the comment section. It's a wrap for today.